The top story now: Ukraine is accusing Russia of a sharp escalation after what Kyiv says was the use of a rare Oreshnik ballistic missile. Ukraine's SBU security service has released pictures of missile fragments it claims were recovered after an overnight strike in the western Lviv region, close to the European Union border. Officials say the missile hit civilian infrastructure during severe winter weather in what they describe as an attempt to disrupt life support systems. The SBU says recovered parts include the missile's guidance unit, engine components, and nozzles. This marks only the second known use of the Oreshnik missile since the war began. Germany has strongly condemned the strike, calling it a deliberate act of intimidation. Berlin says Russia is escalating tensions by sending symbolic messages of fear rather than seeking peace. The European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas also called the strike a clear escalation, warning that Moscow is responding to diplomacy with more missiles and destruction. I request Andrew K.P. Leong, a China strategist from Hong Kong, to join me in the discussion here. Thanks, Andrew, for joining me in this discussion. First of all, do take our viewers through what this missile really is capable of doing.
Well, because President Putin is not accepting the current terms offered by President Trump and European leaders, in the sense that of deploying EU soldiers on the ground in Ukraine, and various other terms. Including, of course, the control over territories now occupied by Russia. So, as Trump wants to end the Ukraine war, at first, I mean, he thought it could be ended in one day, but now it's dragging on, and his credibility is at stake. So he's putting pressure on Russia by even putting pressure on India, imposing something like 500 times tariffs in order to force the hand of Putin. But Putin is now taking advantage of the United States being bogged down in Venezuela and in other areas, is now pushing its gain and is now firing these missiles to weaken Ukraine's resolve. But let's face it, I mean, Ukraine is now a broken country, having been ravaged by war over several years, and then is running out of ammunition, running out of money, running out of bodies. And so Putin is trying to push its gain as far as possible in the Donbass area, but also trying to weaken the resolve of the Zelensky government, hence these missile attacks.
All right, sure. And how much of a destruction is capable by the use of this Oreshnik missile?
Well, these missiles are intended to disrupt the energy supply of Ukraine. The winter is, of course, is now the conditions are increasingly intolerable for the Ukrainian citizens, and this would weaken the resolve of the Ukrainians to defend itself. Apart from, of course, the problems which I mentioned, the increasing lack of ammunition, the lack of money, and indeed the lack of sustainable support. Even in Europe, because the European constituencies, even though they want to defend Ukraine's sovereignty, but on the other hand, the war has been dragging on for so long, and the patience of certain parts of the European electorate is now weakening. So the Putin is trying to push his gain as far as possible before there's any final deal over the future of Ukraine.
And what's your assessment of the reactions that are coming in now after the strike from different parts of the world? Germany is condemning, but there are also that are in favor of it.
Well, of course, I mean, people would continue to condemn the Russian invasion, but it's not going to change anything. In the sense that people are condemning President Trump's recent adventures in Venezuela, it's not going to change anything. Now the whole world is now pivoting towards not so much because the old rule-based order has been thrown out of the window. It's now the rules of the jungle.
Sure, indeed. Andrew, thanks for your comments there, but I request you to stay on with me. Moving ahead, viewers, let's also tell you that US President Donald Trump is meeting top oil executives as part of plans to revive Venezuela's oil sector. The administration